Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach, and I was going to record this video early in the morning. It's a Monday morning today, and I was going to record this before I start my real job. But my laptop over there with my employer decided to do all sorts of BitLocker recovery crap. And this is after the Crowdstrike thing. So I had issues with Crowdstrike on Friday, and eventually it got resolved. I don't know what magical keystrokes I did to get it resolved, but it got resolved. And I was working on Friday, getting some stuff done. And then last night, before I went to bed, I just wanted to check on my PC, on my laptop. And the company had its screen up to say there's a required reboot. When do you want to schedule it? So I said, do it in 4 hours. I went to bed. I came down here this morning and I noticed BitLocker recovery screen. And even though I had the key, it just would never repair or whatever. And so I talked to our internal support, which our internal support is good. They're good folks. They can help out a lot of people with a lot of stuff. But unfortunately, this was just something that could not be repaired. So they are sending me a new laptop. So today I'm going to do whatever I can to try to stay technical without actually being on my work laptop. So anyway, I called my lead and I told her, hey, there's nothing I can do about this. I'm just going to try to do something today to stay technical. She's like, don't worry about it. It's fine. Things happen. And I've been working now remotely for 4 years with Rocket. And this is the first time I've ever had a serious issue with my laptop. When I worked for Magenic, which I worked for them for nearly 20 years, I ended up starting to do a lot more work remotely, like I would be at home. Or, for many years, I was just going to a client site directly. But over time, that slowly but surely started to be where I would do more and more work from home. But the main office was 30 minutes away from me. So if I did have a problem with my laptop, or if I did just happen to swing by the office and talk to a couple of IT folks, the owner's dad was the one to work on creating new images for laptops. And I got on his good side for some reason, but it was a good reason, because then I'd come in, he'd be like, you want a new laptop? But just like every time I come in, he'd say that all the time and be like, I'm good, but sometimes I'd take him up on it. I'm like, sure, I'll take a new one. But the whole point was, if I had an issue, they're right down the road. I could probably get a new laptop within a half an hour, because they were always making new images. And so it was easy. Unfortunately, with working from home, that's the one disadvantage is I can't just, like I said, if I was living in Detroit, but working from home, I could just drive down to the office, get a new one, and spend the rest of the day getting it up to speed and getting back online, but I can't do that. So I'm going to record this video and maybe some more today, depending upon how motivated I feel. So this one is going to be all about collection expressions and supporting them. So I don't know exactly how this works. But again, the intent of why I'm doing this is, if I look around, not these, we don't care about those, but there should be somewhere within Rocks itself. I knew I ran into them somewhere. They were with constraints, because I was working on constraints, and it's like get constraints. Was that it? I don't remember. Was it this one? No. Where was it? Get constraints. This is... Oh, it was default constraints. Get default constraints. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. And so these, I want them to be that, but the problem is we're taking an equatable array, and that is a special type that people end up equatable array, copying and pasting all over the place, because this essentially acts like, it's a struct that allows it to more or less act like an array, but it does things with equals. So it can do comparisons with other equatable arrays and see if they are equal or not. And I think the way it does it is it uses spans, sequence equal. And I think sequence equal makes sure that they're the same length. I think it also says I can't remember if it's the positions of the elements and their equality is what matters, or just that an element from one is in the other. All the elements in one are all in the other, and it doesn't matter the order. I can't remember. The point is, you use this, especially with source generators, because if you're using collections in your code, you need a way to be considered to be equatable. So this is one option. The ones that are from like lists and collections stuff, they don't work the way you want them to, especially when you're trying to say, are they content-wise equal? The problem with this is that there is no way to have collection expressions be used, but this article says, yes, you can create your own and make it work. The problem is that you have to polyfill, because this attribute was added in C# 12, or what would be .NET 8. So what was if you're targeting an earlier version? Well, .NET Standard is one of them. One of the things that, at least in some cases, what you can do is just copy pasta these definitions, and the compiler, even though you're in .NET Standard 2.0, will still pick it up. So we're going to do that here. That's collection builder attribute. I already got a branch made, so I'm good there. I think I've done this with something else in here. I don't remember what, but I believe, is external init. That's right. That was one that with init, it doesn't work, but if you put this in here, then it does. So collection builder attribute. So let's put that in there. Collection builder attribute. Okay. And then we'll do that. And what are you complaining about? Oh yeah. So it's got to be this .builder type. The implementation doesn't matter. So the implementation is irrelevant, but the signature and the name and the namespace and stuff like that, that does matter. I believe, let's actually collection builder attribute. Let's actually look that up in source.net. I love the name of that site. Let's put that there, and we can make it internal. Oh, we'll make it public. I don't know if it really matters or not. If I need to, I need to. You know what I could do? Let's do that. Let's say I don't want it public because I don't want this colliding with the type that's outside, so to speak. So I don't want this to leak out. So let's leave that as internal. Okay. So we've got the attribute usage on it. So that should take care of that. Okay. Now let's at least say where we lifted this from. Lifted from there. Okay. And then I'll just say polyfill is needed because this attribute was introduced in .NET 8 and is not available in .NET in NS 2.0. So we got that, which is great. But what does that actually mean? So we're going to want to put it on here. But what do you actually do to make this work? So I was kind of reading through this a little bit this morning. So you put collection builder, create collections. So it's my collection was like IEnumerable. And now you decorate the type, pointing to a method that the collection expression should call to create the type. So you're saying on my collection create, and I think it's got to be like public. It's got to, his code example I don't think is correct here because he's saying the points to type in a name method that would be invoked to create the decorated collection. The collection must be an iteration type. It should have got a numerator that returns IEnumerator T. Normally you would satisfy this by implementation IEnumerable, but I went for the minimal example above. The type of the I enumerator T returned by get enumerator defines the element type for the collection type. If you return an object, the element type is object. The method point of a static, take a single parameter of type read-only span. So I think he's got a bug in his description here, because we want to have this here, and we want to say equatable array of T, except we want this to be a T here. And you're going to tell me you want this to be a primary constructor. Go away. Okay. So to create this, we say new equatable array of values. Yes, it can be simplified. So you can't convert from a read-only span to an immutable array. Yeah, which kind of makes sense, because to immutable array. There. Okay, so that's the first part. This now, if we put that there and we say type of equatable array and name of crate, what's this? The collection builder attribute type must be a non-generic class or struct. Well, shoot. That kind of shoots our whole idea in the water here, doesn't it? Must be a non-generic class or a struct, which it is a struct. Hello, it is a struct. It doesn't implement these things, but we can't put collection builder on it. That's interesting. And of course, 9185. Find 9185. The collection type must have an iteration type for each as a collection, which we can't be a generic type. So I think, I don't know, can you do this like somewhere else? Handling generic collections, yes. So most of the collection you use a T. If the collection you want to decorate with collection builder generics, move the create method to a separate non-generic type. Yes, okay. So we're not dead in the water yet. Let's move this up to this. Update the create method to be a read-only span of T, right? And then we point it to the builder. And right, so that can be okay. So that stays here. The collection builder is going to be on type of equatable array, and we're going to say equatable array dot create. And that works, except now, like what they do is you need to create a T here. And what's wrong with this? Type T cannot, we have to constrain it, where T is I equatable of T. Boom. So that all works. Here's the real kicker. Can we say here now, there's no target type for the collection expressions. Constraint is taking an equatable array as string. Well, we don't want that. We want that. And that works. Nice. Well, we're not having anything light up to tell us that it doesn't. So that's the problem is that it doesn't pick up that we can actually do this, but that's okay. I can live with that if it actually does do what I want it to do. Is there anywhere else we were calling this equatable array? Well, it doesn't pick up that we're calling it through here. Does this actually work? It says it succeeded. Let's run these tests and see what happens. And I do have tests around this stuff because I know I just worked on the constraint thing here. So that's got to be something that all works. So it's a convenience thing at best, but let's shut down. So I'm going to shut down, start up again, run all the integration tests and the code gen tests, and then see if this holds up. I'll be right back. Okay. All the tests pass. Everything works. So yay. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's not like what I'm adding here is of any significance per se, but it's nice nonetheless, because where is the equatable array anyway? Where did I stick that? Like I know where I put in models. whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to commit this, merge, do all that, and then put it in the changelog and close the feature out. So nice one to keep in mind. And the article, to its credit, if I kept writing, yes, you kept reading English. If I kept reading, it does talk about how you can handle generic collections, because I'm like, that is everywhere. How could you not? I would have actually started the article with that, because I'm like, I don't think I ever have a non-generic. Well, I can't say that, because I think my expectations stuff, when I generated, those are actually, they derive from a generic type. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So yay, this is all cool. This is good. In the next episode, I'm going to start working on this new attribute and starting to obsolete the existing ones to have one unified attribute. Thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.